Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. Today I'm going to discuss you the topic Agile process model. What is Agile process model? Introduction to Agile process model is in the IT organization when the software is developed, then its development process is associated with a methodology. There are various models that can be used to develop software. Noted one include a waterfall model, agile process model, RAD model, prototype model, extreme programming methodology, etc. The choice of model is dependent on many factors such as time required for delivery, funding, how important the software is going to be, the skill set of team, client involvement, etc. And traditionally many organizations used to use the waterfall model in their development process, but there are more shortcomings for that model. Such a waterfall model is rigid, that cannot accept the changes easily. Also, it requires and has to focus heavy documentation. To overcome such a shortcoming, the agile process model is introduced, which is more focused on delivering working software. Agile can accommodate changes easily and has shown tremendous outcomes in the delivering software. That is the reason it has become such a popular name among IT developers and organizations. Phases of Agile process model. The Agile model encourages to practice the continuous iteration of development and testing in the software development life cycle. Here both the development and testing activities are performed together so that a better track on defects can be identified. This was one of the major shortcomings of the waterfall model. Agile process model are as below. Extreme programming, adaptive software development ASD, dynamic system software model, crystal, features driven development. Firstly, we will discuss Scrum. The term should have proper communication and there should not only overhead on each associate. The work need to be shared and must be done parallelly. The process is updated, adopted to both business and technical challenges. The phase pattern is the Scrum R. Backlog lists the requirements in the form of a story and prototypes them in a descending order. Sprints, the basic work units need to require to achieve the backlog requirements packet. There need to be at least 15 minutes daily stand up so that any implementations in the spiral packets can be reviews and demos. There will be reviews and demos so that the work packet can be tracked and if any changes that can be extreme programming. Extreme programming XP is quite helpful where there are frequent changes in the requirement and these changes can be incorporated easily. It is based on the object-oriented approach. It follows short releases for the product in its development life cycle. Each iteration of this model has the following phases. Iteration planning. In this phase, the requirement is understood and drafted as stories and subtasks. Design. This phase takes care of designing the implementation, coding or implementation. The requirement is coded. Testing. The implementation is regularly tested for defects. Adopted software development. In this method, group of individual tries to obtain a solution to a major problem which can be difficult for specific individuals, agents, more emphasis on groups, communication and adopted collaborations. Phases include speculate, get the complex requirement, collaborate, require to work jointly to obtain the desired result, Learn. The team has to enhance the knowledge, and solving the complex requirements is great learning. The learning can be from a technical review or retrospective meetings. Dynamic System Development Model. Dynamic System Development Model is a type of rapid application development approach where there are stringent timelines for delivery are met. The most important activity of dynamic system development model is the user is involved and the activity and the team members are allowed to take decisions. Frequent delivery of release is one of the characteristics of this model. The phases of development framework are as follows: get the complete requirements, details, and constraints, and will come under a feasibility study. For business study, understand the functional requirement of the software, design and build iterations, implementations. Crystal. This is an agile software development model that focuses on the people in the team and their working rather than a process and tool. Crystal model firmly believes that people skill, teamwork, and the other communication is firmly important in the product outcomes. Crystal methodologies are as follows. For small and low critical efforts is clear, orange for moderately larger and critical projects, orange web, typically electronic business. Feature driven development. As the name suggests, feature development FDD manages the software development process with iterations focused on features. These features may be necessarily the product features but also can be akin to the user and the stories which are there in the sprint. The project life cycle of FDD models is as follows. Develop an overall model, build the features list that considered necessary, plan by features, design by features, build or implement by features. Agile testing and methods. Behavior driven development. Testers, developers, and the required business analysts will communicate and to create test scenarios with a focused communication so that there will no be any miss. The scenarios are captured in a specific format. The idea of BDD is to create scenarios, build tests that will fail initially, and build the software functionality that can be aligned with the testing scenario. Acceptance test driven development. Here customer, developer, and the tester will define and accept the performs test. The customer brings the problem, the coder will solve the problem, and the tester will test the implementation in according to the customer or not. Session based testing has similarly with the exploratory testing, but it means the main focus is to ensure that software is tested completely and comprehensively. Why do we use the Agile model? Agile model is beneficial in the following scenarios: when there are frequent changes and need to be implemented, when the focus are more on development, working software and less on documentation, when the planning is not rigid and the business scenarios are volatile. Advantages. A higher level of customer satisfaction is noted since there are involved frequently. Testing in concurrent with development, hence better reliance on software is achieved. Review and emos make some sure the developed software is the following standard. Working software development frequently, changes can be understood and adopted easily, late changes are also welcomed, more important on communication as well as teamwork. Disadvantages of the Agile model. Estimation of effort requirement may go wrong sometimes as it is little stress on planning. The documentation focus is lesser and hence sometimes the possibility of poor documentation. The chances of the off track are more for large projects and where there are frequent changes. So it was all about today's lecture. We have discussed agile model which is used for a complex development of software. It is a beneficial model. There are a lot of benefits, there are a lot of advantages of this model we have discussed. Now you guys have to write a summary in the comments below that what you have learned from this lecture. I will meet you in the next lecture with a new topic. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.